Good morning. I said good morning. Welcome to ASU. My name is Howard Weatherspoon. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a junior mathematics major, and I want to thank, I am the 2017-2018 president for the Center for the African American Male, formerly known as CAM. Now we are M.A.L.E.S mentors, men advocates for leadership, excellence, and success. And I want to welcome you to Albany State University. Welcome to our Winter Youth Summit. Our theme, education through exploration. It's fitting because it's vital for 6th and 7th grade males to receive an invitation to a 4-year university to participate with programming that impact your grades, attendance, choice you make, while helping your dreams and aspirations come true. This conference will enhance your future while reinforcing your current education. M.A.L.E.S Mentors stands for Men Advocates for Leadership, Excellence, and Success. Our motto, reaching students where they are to bring them to where they need to be. We are honored to host you and look forward to having a wonderful summit. In short, I'll leave you with a quote from Malcolm X. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Again, welcome to Albany State University. Again, I would like to introduce Mr. Albany Middle, Mr. Tyler Miller.
Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. And now I would like to introduce our Executive Director, Mr. Antonio Leroy.
Good morning. Welcome to Albany State University. I am so thrilled to see so many scholars and leaders and young, talented men from our community here at Albany State University. We don't take your presence here lightly. We know there are a number of things you guys could be doing right now, like your math class, your social studies class, your science class, your PE class. How many of you guys like PE? Good. That's good for your health. But we're here. We're happy that you're here. We cannot make this program possible without you. But on our campus, this program happens because we have a great leadership team, starting with our president, Dr. Art Dunning, our tremendous faculty and staff, and our students. We say our students are first here. That means whatever we have to do to make the student happy, they're our customers, and we want them to have a great experience here at Albany State University. So what I would like to do, all of our ASU CAM students, if you don't mind, could you stand up? All of our ASU CAM students, if you're on stage, stand up. Students, I want you to give them a round of applause. Thank you. I refer to these students as our real models and not role models. Real models, they do what is expected of them when the cameras are not on, when no adult is around. They do what is expected of them all the time. They are our real models. And I would be remiss, Miss O'Hara, could you wave your hand, step in? Miss O'Hara, she's a community engagement specialist. If you would, y'all give her a hand. You know, it's a poor frog that won't praise his own pond. We can't make this happen without Miss O'Hara's direction. She sent all the consent forms, the flyers, the letters. She followed up with the schools to make sure you guys knew where to be this morning on time. We're just happy that you're here. We're so happy that your parents allowed you to be here. We want to thank all the parent-teacher facilitators, the principals, the lead teachers. If you don't mind, stand up. All teachers and parent facilitators, community partners with the schools. Y'all give them a round of applause. Students, it means something when Albany State University say to our best and brightest in our community, because you young men are some of our best and brightest scholars. It means something when Albany State University say, hey, we want to open our doors and we want to plant a seed early. We want to invite all 6th, 7th, and some 8th graders here to our Winter Youth Summit. Because what we want to do, we want to say to you, if you haven't received the invitation to come to Albany State University, you receive one today. If you don't know that you can come to Albany State and graduate and get a good degree when you finish high school, guess what I'm telling you today? You can get here. If you spell ASU in reverse, you get USA. You can get anywhere from here. And that's what we believe here at Albany State, and we want you to become a golden ram. But I'm not going to label you with that rah-rah stuff. We just want to say to you, welcome to Albany State. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our Division of Student Affairs and Success, where we're led by our interim director, Mr. Aaron Reese. We want to thank him for his leadership, and of course, our leadership team at Albany State with our Title III department, which funds M.A.L.E.S mentors. Dr. Kimberly Holm, she does a terrific job of making sure we have the resources we need to reach out into our university community and welcome students to the institution at an early age. And our theme is education through exploration. Guys, you're gonna have a wonderful time here. We have speakers from all over the globe. We have talented scholars. We have one of your peers, one of your teachers is gonna present to you today. And that SOAR presentation is gonna be, as they say, off the chain. So we want you to sit back and relax. We thank you for being here. And I'd like to ask all the speakers, if you could, all of our speakers, Mr. Kyle Lockhart, if you could stand. Mr. Lockhart is going to do our presentation on engineering. Could we give him a round of applause? Mr. Marco Blanco from Spain. Mr. Marco Blanco, he's going to give our presentation on the process of becoming an international scholar. And we have someone who's going to introduce our featured speaker this morning, so I don't want to steal that treat from you. So I'm going to take my seat, and I'll be followed by the platform guests. Thank you again, and welcome to Albany State University.
Again, thank you, Mr. Leroy, for your words of wisdom to the young youth. I would now like to introduce Mr. Damiel Douglas, here representing the ASU Royal Court.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, y'all still asleep. Let's try it one more time, okay? Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to Albany State University. My name is Damiel M. Douglas. I serve as Mr. Senior at Albany State University, a secondary English education major from Augusta, Georgia. In the absence of my king, Mr. Albany State University, I would just like to say welcome, welcome, welcome to Albany State University, okay? So really quick, if everyone could stand up. So when I first got to Albany State University, it's one quote that has stuck with me, and I've heard it through a lot of ceremonies, a lot of youth symposiums, and I still want to continue to grow it into students today, okay? So if everyone could repeat after me. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to me. But now this time you got to say it like you believe it, okay? If it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to me. See, y'all don't sound like y'all believe it. Let's try it one more time, okay? If it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to me. So what that means is, from now on, you all are the CEOs of your own future. You all control the destiny where you're going. You all control the speed. You all control how fast you get there, but you cannot be your own obstacle on your future to success, okay? So y'all weren't hearing it. One more time. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's up to me. Welcome to Albany State University.
Thank you, Mr. Douglas. And now we will have a word from a representative of our Student Government Association, Mr. Cameron Sullivan.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Albany State University, where we strive, we thrive, and we become. On behalf of our president, Mr. Andre Armour, I do want to welcome you to this wonderful institution. I serve as vice president of Student Government Association, and when I tell you it is an awesome experience, it is an awesome opportunity to stand before you this morning. I want to encourage you to open your ears, open your eyes, open your hearts to receive, okay? Because we have some wonderful speakers here on this morning that is going to pour into you and make sure that you have the necessary essentials when you leave here into your growing as a man, okay? I want to make sure that you're well equipped when you leave here, because it's not going to be very long from now when you're going to be walking through these doors at Hyper Gym at your freshman convocation. All right? Like Mr. Douglas said, it is up to you. It is up to you. It is up to you. And I say it lastly, it is up to you to make sure that you strive, you thrive, and you become what it is God has ordained you to be. God bless you. Thank you for coming to Albany State University.
Next, we'll have greetings from Dr. Ken Dyer. Excuse me, Mr. Rodney Bullock.
Good morning. Good morning. Try that again. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, listen, on behalf of Mr. Kenneth Dyer, our superintendent of the Dougherty County Schools, my name is Rodney Bullock. I'm the deputy superintendent. I want to bring greetings, not just because of the school district, but because you're here for a reason, and you're here with people who are making a difference in your life. At one point in my life, growing up as a kid whose mom was on drugs, we were homeless, I was looking for somebody to step in. There were adults that took place during that time that was in my life that created that environment. I think you have that environment today when you have wonderful leaders spread throughout this community that's making a difference. Quick story, and I don't think he remembered this. Mr. Leroy there. At one time, I was a baseball coach here at Albany State. I coached here for 3 seasons. I remember coming back in from a late game, probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That was before the flood. At that time, the dorms were down on the main campus. It was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I heard something tapping. I thought someone was knocking on the door. So ultimately, me and the head coach, Richard Miles, got up to go and see what was out there. I noticed this guy running up and down the steps at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, up and down with boots on, short pants and boots. And I noticed that young man was Mr. Leroy. And I said, what are you doing? I mean, everybody else in the dorm is asleep. He looked at me with a deep sweat, so that means he had been out there a while. He said, hey, I gotta stay on top. While everybody else is sleeping, I gotta stay on top. What that also created was an opportunity for Mr. Leroy to be one of the top running backs in this country, especially Albany State still hold many of the records. I'm not saying that to try to make sure that you know who he is. What I'm telling you guys is the message is what type of level of commitment it takes to be successful. When he was doing all that running, it wasn't just for him to go to pursue the NFL. You know what else it was for? To create the culture that whatever he was going to be a part of, he was going to work, and he was going to create a positive environment. That's why you are here. This program was part of his hard work over the years based on those things. Now, this is not necessarily about him. I'm telling you, if you work, you get better results. If you don't work, you get results that people give you. So I want to say to you again, please work, get your education. That is the greatest equalizer that's out there. So again, I bring you greetings from the Dougherty County Schools. Thank you.
Next, we will have the introduction to our speaker, Mr. Martez Favors. Mr. Jamel Wiggins will be doing the introduction of our guest speaker today.
Good morning. My name is Jamel Wiggins, and I am a senior here at Albany State University. I am 23 years old, and I am a mass communication major, and it's my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Martez Favors. A native of Albany, Georgia, and a product of a single-parent household, Mr. Martez Gerard Favors has defined odds and has successfully overcome artificial restrictions. He currently serves as assistant principal at Lamar Magnet School of the Arts and president of I-Live Consulting. He has a wide range of experience in training, development, and public speaking. He specializes in education and leading those who educate the whole child. He is the founder and former executive director of Real Boys, Real Men, a nationally recognized mentoring program founded by Jack and Jill of America. He is a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporation, where he served as director of Gamma Omicron Lamada Education Foundation. Mr. Favors earned a bachelor's in speech and theater from the unsinkable Albany State University, a Master of Education degree in Curriculum and Instruction from Lesley University in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and an educational specialist in educational leadership from the Columbus State University in Columbus, Georgia. He lives by his original quote, "The only thing that can stop me from being great is my own perspective." Without any further delay, please join me as we welcome the opening session speaker, Mr. Martez Favors.
Crack it up. Crack it up. Crack it up. Y'all just gonna sit there? Y'all just gonna sit there? Y'all just gonna sit there? What y'all gonna do? I need y'all to wake up. I need y'all to wake up. I need y'all to wake up. Let's go. I see you. I see you. I see you. Hey. 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 Come on, get up, get up, get up, get up. Get up, 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 get up. Who is it? What school is this? Pocket County, let's go. Pocket County, what y'all got? Oh, man. Who is this up here? Radio Middle? Let's go, Radio. What y'all got? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Who is this? What school is this? Turner? Turner? Let's go. What y'all got? Oh, man. Who is this? Let's go. Let's go. Pocket County. Let's go, Pocket. What'd you say? Sumter County. Let's go, Sumter County. What y'all got? Nothing? We have another school in the house. I think I see the middle sitting in front of me. Albany Middle School, what y'all got? Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, DJ. Appreciate you, DJ. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. And good morning, ladies. Know there's some ladies in here. How y'all doing? Good to see you. All right. I'm so excited to be here this morning. It's so good to see every last one of you, but I'm extremely proud to see all the young men that I've taught, young men that have been in my mentoring program, young men that have graduated as I've been an assistant principal. It's great to see you, very proud of you. And I'm looking forward to this being a very interactive session, all right? I'm excited this morning because I believe that every day I wake up should be a celebration. Every day I wake up should be a celebration. Why? Because I wasn't supposed to be here. A poor black boy from South Albany, raised by a single mother. Statistics state that I was supposed to be behind bars serving time for a crime that I didn't commit. I should be living on the street, strung out on drugs and alcohol, trying to erase all the pain, shame, and hatred that events in my life created. I should be a rolling stone like my papa, with kids all over town. I should have been a failure because of teachers who believed I wasn't smart enough for advanced placement courses. I was supposed to be in a grave after that car accident at age 16 when my vehicle spun around 3 times, jumped the curb, and missed a tree by only 2 feet. But God had a plan for my life. And no weapon, situation, lie, plot, or scheme could stop me from reaching my destiny. I did not get here on my own. I had a team of strong supporters praying for me and rooting me on. I was supposed to be a part of that 71% of high school dropouts that come from fatherless homes, but my grandmother prayed for me. I was supposed to be a part of the 63% of youth suicides that come from fatherless homes, but my aunts prayed for me. 85% of youth in prison come from single-parent homes, but I wasn't one of them because my mother prayed for me. And she just happens to be in the audience today. Mama, wave your hand so everybody can see you. Hey, Mama. I stand before you today as a successful entrepreneur, author, educator, and musician with a high school diploma, a bachelor's degree from this great unsinkable institution, 2 advanced degrees, one from a private and one from a public majority school. Not because of the deeds that I've done, but because of my Heavenly Father and the people He placed in my life who helped me to make the right choices. Was it hard? You bet. But I put in a lot of practice. I practiced making the right choices until they became a part of me, because practice makes profit. I'm sure some of you know it's hard growing up without a father. I hated myself for many years. I could not for the life of me understand why my dad didn't love me enough to play an active role in my life. What did I do that was so wrong that he would raise my siblings, but not me? I was bitter. Bitterness is an idea that delays destiny. It stems from repeated disappointment, frustration, and anger. I was repeatedly disappointed by others to the point that I became frustrated. My frustration over the years turned into anger, and my anger could have led to my demise. But I had several mentors who spoke into my life, who prayed over me and told me how great I was. But I didn't believe them, because deep down in my mind, I wanted to hear it from my dad. It wasn't until I was 26 years old that all of this changed for me. I met my father in January of 2012. And from that moment forward, my entire life turned around. All of these emotions that I thought were holding me back seemingly disappeared. When I met him, I discovered that he wasn't the big monster that I made him out to be in my mind. He was simply a man who made some poor choices and chose to run instead of taking care of the responsibilities of his actions. My life changed at that moment, not because I met him, but because I chose to forgive him. I know there's some people in your lives who may have abandoned you, who may have hurt you, who may have said that you'll never amount to anything. However, in order for you to move forward and be successful with the life you've been given, you must make the choice to forgive. You're probably thinking, man, you don't know what they did to me or what they said about me or what they said to me. Believe me, I understand the hurt that others can cause. I've had some things done to, said about that I would never even dare to speak. But as long as I chose to hold on to it, my life was weighed down. Sort of like a hot air balloon. Balloon pilots use sandbags and ropes to keep the hot air balloon on the ground. Once they untie those ropes and lift those sandbags, the balloons can soar high in the sky. You can do the same thing. Untie those ropes of anger and frustration. Lift those sandbags of disappointment and fear. Let all of those things go, because the only thing that can stop you from being great is you. I wrote a book in 2015 entitled SOAR, Successfully Overcoming Artificial Restrictions. And the very first topic I discuss in this book is forgiveness. The excerpt is, forgiveness is the key that unlocks so many doors. For so long, I held grudges against people who I didn't see eye to eye with. And I watched myself get passed up on opportunities that I desired to experience. I have since learned that if I want to be blessed and forgiven by God, I have to do the same for His people. As an educator, this has become very important to me because each day is a brand new start for everyone in which I come into contact. Forgiveness is the key to overcoming any adversity in your life. So let's practice. With a showing of hands, how many of you have ever been to a Southern Baptist church? Raise your hand. If you've ever been to a Southern Baptist church, we got quite a few people. Okay, if you haven't, you're gonna catch on real quick. All right, so this should be real easy for you, those of you who have been. This is what I need you to do. I need you to turn to your neighbor. I need you to look at your neighbor. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, old neighbor, I forgive you. That was the wrong neighbor. Look at another neighbor. Say, neighbor, old neighbor, I forgive you too. Why are we doing this? Because practice makes profit. I have to make the choice. Oh, that's good. You can clap right there. That's good stuff. Practice makes profit. I have to make the choice to practice being who I want to become every day. Because I want to get paid to do what I love. God has already equipped us with everything we need in order to become who He has designed us to be. I have been speaking in front of crowds since I was 5 years old. Why? Because God knew this day would come. If I had waited until last week to start practicing, y'all probably would be asleep by now. Whoever you're supposed to be, practice becoming that person every day. If you want to become a CEO, start dressing like one. Start making decisions like one, because practice makes profit. If you want to be a chef, you've got to make cooking a habit. No one's gonna pay you for no frozen TV dinners or no ramen noodles, so you gotta really know how to cook. And practice makes profit. The longer you do a thing, the better you become at it. If you want to be nice, you have to practice holding doors for people and smiling at people, because practice makes profit. If you want to be honest, you have to practice telling the truth every day, because practice makes profit. If you want to go to college, you have to study. You have to write out a plan and execute that plan every day, because practice makes what? Profit. The same holds true about negative things too. If you practice not telling the truth, you'll become a liar. If you practice not studying for your classes, you'll become a failure. If you practice being mean to people, you'll end up alone. Whatever you spend time doing, you will become. Because whatever you say goes, and whatever you feed grows. Whatever you say goes, whatever you feed grows. You have to make the choice today Whatever choice you make, be consistent. Consistency wins or loses the race. Don't tell lies all the time and expect for people to believe you when you finally tell the truth. Don't be lazy all the time and expect for leaders to give you a position. If you're going to practice laziness, do that. If you're going to practice hard work, do that. Why? Because the man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both correct. You don't believe me? Maybe you'll believe Walter Wintle, who wrote the poem about it. The man who thinks he can. If you think you're beaten, you are. If you dare not, you don't. If you don't like to win, but think you can't, it's almost a cinch that you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will, is all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. You have to create a positive mindset about yourself, regardless of what's going on around you. I know it's hard to believe in yourself when society constantly reminds you of how dangerous and dumb supremacists think you are. When in actuality, they're so dumb that they have to steal ideas from you for financial gain. It's difficult to believe in yourself when at any given moment, those who are chosen to protect and serve can choose a deadly fate you don't deserve. It's almost impossible to believe in yourself when those chosen to educate you choose to write a referral for your behavior instead of writing a lesson plan for your learning style. I know it's an awesome task to believe in yourself when the person who gave you life constantly reminds you that you ain't gonna be nothing and that you're just like your daddy, when all you want is to know who your daddy is. I understand all of that. But I also understand that if you don't think positively of yourself, you will never be successful. My pastor asked a question a little over a month ago. He asked, does your life defy gravity? At first, I thought no. But as I pondered longer, I realized what he was asking. Gravity is an invisible force that holds objects and people down on the ground. That's the same thing that our thoughts will do to us if we let them. That's the same thing that society will do if we allow it. That's the same thing family members will do if we let them do it. I choose not to. I will not be held down by society, my thoughts, my past experiences, nor my family. I choose to soar, to successfully overcome artificial restrictions. Will you soar with me? I know some of you may be thinking that it's too hard, but it gets easier with practice. I need you to stand with me if you're ready to be successful. I need you to stand with me if you're tired of just doing enough to get by. I need you to stand with me if you're tired of feeling sorry for yourself. If you're tired of being mistreated or overlooked, if you're ready to make a difference in this world, if you're choosing to change, stand. If you want to stay the same, remain seated. I'm only talking to those who are ready to better themselves. I want you to repeat after me. I choose to forgive. I choose to soar. I choose to win. I choose to forgive. I choose to soar. I choose to win. I choose to forgive. I choose to soar. I choose to win. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen if you consistently practice saying and doing what you say. Why? Because practice makes profit. Thank you. All right. Man, I tell you, to see a product of Albany State University, you remember I said earlier, if you spell ASU in reverse, you get USA. You can get anywhere from here. Dr. Favors, I'm speaking it into fruition. Yes, he's on his way, mama. Thank you, mama. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Favors. That's a real model for you. Create a positive mindset, believe in yourself, success, overcome artificial restrictions, forgive those who hate on you. Folks, when you're doing something good, you're gonna have people talking about you anyway, so keep doing good. You got somewhere to go. Now, before we give some last instructions here, because we know your attention span can be somewhat short, but man, that was a powerful presentation. This young man travels all over the country. We were fortunate to have him here. All the lead teachers, I need you to report after this session, report to our registration table. He has books. He has 50 books. We're going to give each school 6 books. A month and a half from now, Catherine, I'm going to ask those schools to send papers back based on their experience from reading that book and what this program has changed in your life. And the top essays, I'm gonna give out $150. Let me say that again, Catherine, because I believe in you guys. So we want you to create your creative juices. Let me see. I think we got Albany Middle, $150 for the #1 essay. Terrell County, $150. Willie J. Williams, C.A. Gray, Radium Springs, Sumter County, Turner County Middle School. Do I need to repeat myself? How much? Oh, it's gonna be $200. So check this out. So for third place, it will be $100, and for a second place, $100. Third place, $50. Fourth place, we'll wave at you on social media. Thank you. $200 for first place, $100 for second place. So we're gonna send these 6 books. Teachers, whatever kid come up to you, give them a chance to read the book so they'll check it out. These are your books to have. Keep it in your resource lab, because if a gentleman can speak as eloquent as this young man did before you, and he's sharing with you some secrets to be successful, I think you need to read his book. So we're going to give you an incentive to read his book and write us a paper about the book and your experience here at Albany State. Now, if you look on your shoulder, you have a sticker. If you have that puzzle piece sticker on your chest, stand up. That sticker represents a puzzle piece. In your lives, there are some important pieces in your lives. Your parents, your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents. Your teachers are very important pieces. The bus drivers are important pieces. The right friends you pick are important pieces. The community people, the business district, they're important because they support a lot of the schools. The real models who set examples for you are important pieces. Now you might say, well, Mr. Leroy, why are you talking about these puzzle pieces? Because when we put all these pieces together, we see a clear picture for our men in this community. We see a pale-lucent picture. Pale-lucent means it's ultra clear that even a blind person can see the good work that you're doing. So when you wear that sticker, that's just not a sticker for fun or something we just decided to come up with by reaching out there to give you something to identify who you are. That sticker means you are an important piece, not only to your lives, but to your families, to your schools, to this community, and to Albany State University, where potential is realized. So we want to thank you for being here, a part of our program. Have a seat, please. Because this next segment is going to be very interesting. This session is entitled STEM and Robotics, and the speaker this morning is a young man, but the guy who's going to introduce the speaker, he's phenomenal also. But before Mr. Vandravius, Jenkins, who's our vice president for M.A.L.E.S. Before Mr. Jenkins come, I want to say a word, one about Mr. Jenkins, but also listen up, guys. If you're going to play with your footballs, I need you to put them in your pocket because I don't want those footballs to be a distraction. Our speaker is going to take about 15 minutes to give you an overview and talk about the importance of STEM, and especially for young males, because we know your attention span is very short, because some of y'all playing with the lanyards, so put those things down, give this young man both ears, and he's gonna create a question, a dialogue with you guys. But I wanna say about our Vice President, Mr. Vandravius Jenkins, he's doing a great job. I just wanna thank him for taking time. He's a very busy student. Guys, it's something when you have real models coming before you to share with you the importance of programs like this, but also to tell you how much we care about you. These guys are better than a Hallmark card. When I need the best to come, I call on Mr. Jenkins. I call on Mr. Jalen O'Neill. I call on our CAM mentors. But Mr. Jenkins, I want to thank you for always answering the call, for being a real model of success. Our speaker, I just want to say something about him. I need my man with the glass. Can you stand up, sir? Yes. All right. I need my man right here. I need you to stand up. Stand up. Stand on the top of that. Yes, stand on the bench. Stand on the side. Stand on the bleacher. I remember when our speaker, his brother was, well, you stand up, my man. Kyle, you remember when we used to work out? His brother, I used to train him when he was at Westover High School. He was probably about your height with this guy standing on your shoulders. But his brother would come to the workouts. His brother was Antonio, right? Antonio was, but what's your name, my man? I can't hear you. Lenny, Antonio was about your height. What's your name? Hassan, and what's your name? Jamarcus and Hassan, imagine putting those two guys on each other's shoulders. That's how tall Kyle was in the 6th grade, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. He was a tall young man. He was from the Bahamas. Y'all know what the Bahamas is? Okay, it's in the Bahamas. It's one of our islands, a nice resort island here. You guys can have a seat, thank you. And I have a seat. And I remember when this young man came to me because he wanted to fly fighter jets for the United States Air Force. He's just kind of on the tall side. He's a good young man. He's my frat brother. He's a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. But he's a young man that's going to do some great things. I can see this young man one day doing work in the White House. He's just that talented. I can see him one day being a major player with Boeing or Delta Airlines, or doing work that's gonna change our way of travel because of his mind. He's very smart. So guys, I'm gonna need you to listen up because he has a strong, good Jamaican accent, or excuse me, Bohemian accent. So right now I'm gonna ask Mr. Vandravius if he would come and introduce our speaker, but also tell him where you're from, what you're majoring in, and bring our speaker on up. Thank you.
Good morning, Future Rams. Good morning. My name is Vandravius Jenkins. I am a sophomore from Columbus, Georgia, majoring in history. I have the honor of introducing a talented young engineer, Mr. Kyle Lockhart. Mr. Kyle Lockhart is a proud product of the Dougherty County school system. He also attended schools in New Jersey and the Bahamas. It was during his time in high school that he realized the importance of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Mr. Lockhart is a 2016 graduate of Tuskegee University with a bachelor's degree in aerospace science engineering. While matriculating at Tuskegee University, he participated in numerous aerospace engineering departmental research and was afforded an opportunity to complete a rigorous 1-year build, design, fly program consisting of both faculty and industry instructions in the design, analysis, manufacturing of the modern unmanned aircraft vehicle. sponsored by Boeing. While attending Tuskegee University, Mr. Lockhart held numerous leadership positions with various organizations on his campus, such as treasurer of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and flight commander of his squad in the Air Force ROTC program. He enjoys traveling and is a member of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics Society, the Tuskegee University Alumni Association, and Sherwood Baptist Church. His perspective is as follows. STEM is important because it permeates every part of our lives, scientific, technological, innovations, and became increasingly important. Therefore, students need to develop their capabilities in STEM to the levels beyond what was considered acceptable in the past. STEM education creates critical thinkers, increases science literacy, increases math proficiency, and enables the next generation of researchers, innovators, scientists, engineers, and health professionals to compete in a global economy. A solid STEM education is a major key to the future success of our students and is extremely critical to help the United States remain a world leader. STEM is the future, therefore, it is imperative that teachers, counselors, mentors, and parents play a vital role in mentoring, encouraging, guiding, and teaching the next generation of young people so that their dreams and aspirations become a reality in STEM-related fields. Mr. Lockhart is currently employed with Quest Global Engineering Company in Lafayette, Indiana, and contracted with Rolls-Royce Company as a lift engineer assigned to the F-35 military jet engine. With this, please join me in welcoming Mr. Kyle Lockhart.
Good morning.
Morning.
How y'all doing today? All right, so I'm gonna start off with a quote. Science is more than a school subject or a periodic table or the properties of wave. It is an approach to the world, a critical way to understand and explore and engage with the world, and then have the capacity to change the world. That was by President Barack Obama at the time. So, as was said, my name is Kyle Lockhart. I live in Indiana right now, working as a lift fan engineer for Rolls-Royce. STEM. What is STEM? STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Why is it important? Well, it's important because it's in our day. We do it every day. Science is all around us. Technology is there to help us and make things easier. Engineering is the same thing with cars, roads, bridges, airplanes. Mathematics, we use it every day, whether you know it or not. So while I was younger, as I was introduced, my parents got divorced at a very young age, and my mom lived in the Bahamas and my dad lived in the United States. And at the time, I really didn't know what to do, like what I wanted to actually be when I grew up. At the time, I had a family member that really died at the time. So I was like, I think I want to be a doctor. But God didn't really have that in his plans. So I took on the responsibility of finding something, and traveling really from the Bahamas to the US, I kind of found a love for flying. I would be on a plane 3 to 4 times a year, traveling back and forth. The people at the airport would kind of think of me as their son because they saw me all the time as an unaccompanied minor. So that's the kind of the reason why I chose aerospace engineering. It kind of spoke to me, and that's really what a passion that I really had for it. So while at Tuskegee University, I went through many rigorous classes such as propulsion, dynamics, statics, aircraft structures, and as I was able to be a part of a very important, basically, because of Boeing, I had the opportunity to become a part of a project, which I was a part of Purdue University, Brigham Young University, Emory-Riddle, and Tuskegee University. So Boeing basically gave us a project where we had to come up with the design of a UAV. And our class at Tuskegee University and grouped with the other universities, we decided to come up with a UAV project that would help first responders. So with that, we decided to go with a first responder, a UAV that would deliver an AED inside of it. And my school was determined to build the compartment for that. So that was a really good experience on trying to get basically firsthand knowledge of how working with a company like Boeing and working with other schools basically helped prepare me for the next part of my life. Now, while I was at Tuskegee, it was a very hard time. Aerospace engineering, it's hard, but it pays off. I had times where I wanted to quit, really, and it was really tough. I had friends, classmates that actually were in the same course as me, but they actually ended up switching to easier majors besides being English and history. My mom basically said that nothing in life is worth putting hard work on if it's not for free. My grandmother, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my grandmother basically praying every night for me and encouraging me and giving me good words to basically continue going through that. Now, why is STEM important? According to the National Science Foundation, in the 21st century, science and technology innovations are becoming increasingly important as we face benefits and challenges of both globalization and the knowledge-based economy. So, technology. We all know everybody knows about Tesla, right? So Tesla is a car company that is built basically on electricity power. So now Tesla, they have this program or driver assist where the car can basically drive itself. So now, basically, we're at the point of our lives where cars are almost basically driving themselves. All you have to do is sit in the car and it will drive itself. Now, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce, STEM occupations are growing at 17%, while other occupations are growing at 9.8%. STEM degrees hold a higher income even in non-STEM careers. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics work play a key role in sustained growth in the United States and the U.S. economy, and a critical component of helping the U.S. win the future. So as of right now, the USA, when it comes to STEM programs, it's not really in the top part. It's more in the middle part, and we need to find a way to kind of help and bring that up. And by my hope of speaking to you guys will kind of get you guys exposed to the STEM program. Now, I studied aerospace engineering. Now, that's not the only the only engineering program out there. There's civil engineering, which relates to roads, bridges, things like that. There's chemical engineering, which has to do with chemicals, fuel, the gas stations. Those are usually where chemical engineering comes from. Mechanical engineering, which is basically like a general overview of all things, cars, planes. It has to do with a little bit of that. Now, as I said earlier, STEM degrees have a higher income. Now, we all like money, right? So basically, I'm gonna tell you, so I started working last year. I I will get a paycheck, put a little something over it to the saving. For the first 8 months of this year, I'm going to be traveling somewhere new. Next month, I'm going to be going to London. Then I'm also going to be going to the Bahamas, and I'm planning on going to Mauritius. You could go to places you can't even pronounce where to go. So it really opens up the door for you if you really want a good paying job.
So are they paying for it, or this is the money you're making paying for
This is the money I'm making, putting it and saving it up just so I could travel the world and see different places. Yes, because of my field. So anybody know about the F-35? So you know that it's one of the latest military jets, and it's able to do short takeoffs and vertical landings. So with my job as a customer, as a client working with Rolls-Royce, my job is this jet, it goes out, some of them are still doing test flights. So I have 7 jets that I'm responsible for. One of them actually just went back to the service fleet, so I'm only in charge of 6 right now. So basically, as the jet does specific tests, I receive the data from that. Pratt & Whitney receives the data, downloads it, and then sends it to Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce has the lift fan and is in charge of the 3 BSM on the jet. So when I get that data, I then run it through a program, and it basically tells me what was done on the jet and how many lifings, and basically the life of the parts on the jet. So it's a really interesting part of my career right now. When I was in college, I couldn't have dreamt really of having a job like this. It really speaks to me. So I want to come back and speak and tell that guys like you can have jobs like this. Being in the STEM program, it makes you able to be a critical thinker, increase science literacy, increase math proficiency, and enable the next generator of innovators. Anybody want to be an innovator out here? See, you could be it. This innovation and science literacy depends on a solid knowledge based in STEM areas. It is clear that most jobs of the future will require a basic understanding of math and science. Now, when I was in high school and middle school, my 2 strongest subjects were math and science. I wasn't good at English at all. I got A's and B's in math and science and C's in English, and I got an A in Spanish. My mom always used to get on me, how can you get an A in Spanish but get a C in English? So that was one tough part of my life growing up. But as being a STEM, you could always rely on math and science. Who benefits from STEMs? Well, STEM education helps to bridge the main ethnic and gender gaps sometimes found in math and science fields. Innovative initiatives have been established to increase the roles of women and minorities in STEM-related fields. STEM education breaks down into traditional gender roles. In order to compete in a global economy, STEM education and careers must be a national priority. I know that society or popular culture tells you about music, being a rapper, sports, making it to the NBA or the NFL is the way to go. Those are not bad, but a STEM career is just as important or even more important. The late South African president Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Remember, education opens doors and allows you to see the world. Once obtained, it can never be taken away from you. In conclusion, a solid STEM education is a major key to the future success of you, our students, and is extremely critical to help the United States remain a world leader. If STEM education is not improved, the United States will continue to fall in the world ranking with math and science scores and will not be able to maintain its global position. STEM education in schools is important to spark the interest in pursuing a STEM career in students. However, teachers and counselors do not carry the whole burden of STEM education. Parents also must encourage their children to pursue STEM activities and increase an interest at home in extracurricular activities or the benefits of STEM education. So all of us, teachers, counselors, mentors, parents, play a role in mentoring, encouraging, guiding, and teaching the next generation of innovators and engineers. STEM is the future. Our next researchers, biomedics, engineers, mechanical engineers, aerospace, civil electrical, cyber experts, astronauts, innovators, health profession, and educators are right here today. Teachers and mentors, counselors, we have a duty and obligation to help these young people dreams and aspirations become a reality. Thank you.
Guys, we want to thank our speaker, Mr. Lockhart, for that presentation. Now, I want to ask Mr. Lockhart if he would come back up to the podium. We have a certificate we'd like to present him with. This is a certificate of appreciation from Albany State University M.A.L.E.S Mentors Program to Mr. Kyle Lockhart. This and grateful recognition for his individual service as our guest speaker during our M.A.L.E.S 2018 Winter Youth Summit. We want to thank you, Mr. Lockhart. Thank you. So we want to thank Mr. Lockhart. He has another exciting presentation for the remainder of our guests, and this is at the 2018 Winter Youth Summit here at Albany State University.